Hello everyone. Welcome to the session for managing install services. Okay, so during this session, we are going to learn about your services. Okay, how at different run level. So I've already in the previous session I have explained about the um, services which are starting at different run level. So mainly we are going to understand how we can manage these installed services, how you can make it on or off this particular services. Okay, or you can say a daemon at a particular run level in this session. Okay, so let's start the session, guys. So coming to the slides, so we are going to create a slide for managing installed services. Okay, guys, getting my point? Fine. So, what do you understand by managing installed services? So, managing installed services is nothing but these services are the programs. So, what do you mean by programs? So, programs are nothing but these are the daemons. Then, what do you understand by the daemons? So, daemons are nothing. So, these are the background processes which are going to help to start your services. Okay, getting my point, guys? In the previous sessions also I have explained you about the daemons. Okay, so again I am repeating my sentence. So services are the programs which is called as a daemon, and daemons are nothing but these are the background processes that once started run continuously in the background and are ready for the input or monitor changes in your computer and respond to them. Getting my point? Okay, so let me take some example, then you'll be better understand. For example, your Apache server is running, correct? So what is the daemon for Apache server? So the daemon for Apache server is your HTTPD. So if you want to check the status, so normally what we do is we need to start and stop the services. Same like Windows, we have task manager. If I go here, okay, you can see in the task manager, you can see services are there, right? So what all these services are there, right? So these services are there, different services are there, right? So NSI service is there, you can see TBS service is there. So these services having one PID. Okay, so these services you can start and stop these services. Same like in Linux, you can start and stop these daemons. So these daemons are responsible to run your services, correct, guys? Getting my point? So like for example, Apache server has a daemon called HTTPD. In the software management, I have make you understand which is the package for FTP server. So VSFTPD is the package for FTP server. And what is the daemon for FTP server? So VSFTPD is the daemon for FTP server. If you want to start or stop the FTP server, then you need to start or stop the VSFTPD daemon. Okay, getting my point, guys? So normally what will happen is D stands for like HTTPD is the HTTP is the service, but if added with HTTPD, okay, means the D is for your daemon, it stands for daemon. So that is listen on port 80. Same like if I talk about Apache Tomcat, so Apache Tomcat server listen on port 8080, Nginx listen on port 80, and HTTPS listen on port 443. So you need to understand which is what is the daemon, difference between a daemon and a service. So now you guys are clear. Okay, moving towards the next point. Okay, so how, okay, we are going to check the different services, okay, by using commands. So mainly there are two commands. So the thing is how. So first thing is what is your services, correct? So now you guys understand what is the services. Now the second thing, so second thing is, so we have two services. What all those two services? We have two types of services. Okay, or you can say there are two commands used to control your services. Okay, so there are two commands to control services. What all these commands are there? So these commands are your chk config, okay, and the second one is your service. So normally you will see if you want to check for a particular run level your services is running or not, so you need to use the command chkconfig. And if you want to start, stop, or know the status of your service, then you need to use service command. Now, let me explain you about this chkconfig and about this service. So, service is nothing but these control the starting, stopping of a service during a session. These settings are not saved. Okay, so these settings are not permanent. Okay, so if you want to stop or start a service, what service? Like your Apache, right? Your Apache server is running. So if you want to stop or start the Apache server, so what you're going to do is if you start Apache this way, but it is not set to start on boot using the above method. So if you are going to use the above method means if you are going to use service method, so it's not going to set to start on booting using the above method. Then it will be continue to run, but on the next boot it will not start automatically. Getting my point? No. So let me explain you again. Okay, if you are going to use this service method, okay, if you are going to use this service method, okay, then what will happen at that particular session when your session is live, when you are logged in, okay, you can start, stop, and you can come to know the status of that service. Suppose your Apache server is running, your HTTPD is running, your FTP server is running, okay, and your Nginx server is running, your Apache Tomcat server is running, okay, so okay, fine, it's running, you can see the status also, you can stop also, but when the next reboot, chances will be there that it's going to stop because it's not going to start automatically. So how we are going to set this particular service to start automatically? So for that we have command called chkconfig. So with the help of chkconfig, this is nothing but this control which service are set to start on boot. By their nature, these settings are saved and applied to at next boot. That's what we can set these services at different run level as a on or off. Okay, if you want to do, and changing these settings will not start the service immediately, it will just flag them to be started from the next book. So whatever, if it's suppose your server is going to down, okay, but if you set it up already this thing automatically, so the as soon as the server will be coming up, all your services are going to start automatically, you no need to start manually. Getting my point, guys? Okay, so let me start the VMware so you'll be better understanding. Okay, guys, so your server is up and running. Okay, so now we can log into this server from the putty. And what is the IP for this server is 192.168.222.135. Okay, now as we logged into the server, now what is the first thing we need to do? Okay, so as I told you, what is the difference between service and chkconfig command? So now the commands, let me note it down this thing. So the commands used for maintaining a service, okay, is what all those things. So you need to type like service, and you need to give the service name. Okay, service name, and you need to give status. So what is this? So this is stands for, if you want to check the status of a service, if you want to see the status of a service, then you need to give service name. So you need to start with the command service name and then status. So this will display status. Okay, now the second thing, what is the second command? Second command is your service. Just copy the same thing, you need to make a small changes, that's it. Okay guys. Okay, so if you want to start the service, then you need to give start. Okay, and if you want to stop the service, then you need to give stop. Okay, getting my point guys? So this sash should be small. And so now what is the third thing? So if you want to reload the service without restarting it, then what you need to do is you need to do reload. Okay, now the fourth command, this command is very much important, because sometimes what happen is, like SSH service, when you stop the SSH service, then you will be disconnected from the putty. So what you need to do is you need to start and stop, do the both the service at a time. So you need to use a restart command for this one. Okay, so you need to do a restart command. Okay guys, so these are the commands used for maintaining a service. And you understand about chkconfig and this one? Any doubt guys? No, right? Fine. So moving towards the next slide. Okay. So here now we are going to understand. So we understand about the services, right? If you want to start and stop the services, okay, if you want to check the status of the services, if you want to restart the services, or if you want to reload the services, then you need to go ahead with those commands. What about the chkconfig command, right? So I have explained you about the difference between chkconfig and service, right? So for the two, the command use for service availability. Okay, availability availability is what all those thing is there. So if you want to check a service, okay, because from the next boot you know that service is not going to start. Okay, chances that if your system is going to boot, it has to be stopped. So you need to start manually. So what you need to do is you need to make it start automatically. So how those things is going to happen? So you need to use the command chkconfig. Okay, you need to use the command chkconfig, and then you need to do hyphen list. So this particular thing, what it will do, to check the availability of the services. So what all services are available and what all services are not available, this command is going to give you the whole detailed information of all the services, not only one services, but for the all the services. But if you want to display a specific service, so you need to do a chkconfig list, and you need to give that service name. Okay guys, getting my point? So you need to give that. Suppose if I want to see only httpd service, okay, so it's going to give me only the availability of your HTTPD server, that is nothing but your Apache server. Okay, but if you suppose those services are unavailable, those services are off, so how you are going to make those services available when it's booting up, okay, for the operating system? So for the command is chk, let me copy this thing. So chkconfig, and you need to give the service name. Suppose your service is HTTPD and you need to make it on. Okay guys, to reload, okay, sorry, to make the service available after restart, so you need to make this on. Okay, if you want to make the service off, so what you need to do is same thing, okay, copy and paste it and just make it as a off. Okay guys, so let's do the hands-on part, guys. This is very much important because same way I used to do in my production environment for all the services. Okay, so I have logged into this system. Okay, to this Linux terminal one. Okay, so what I am going to do here is I have already installed the VSFTPD package. Okay, so now we need to see that your VSFTPD package or your VSFTPD daemon is running properly or not. Okay, so how we are going to do that is, so command is service vsftpd status, correct? So you will come to know, as of now it's showing that it's running with a PID, that is the parent process. Okay, so it's running correctly. Okay guys, but if that particular service is not running, okay, if that particular service is stopped, so how we are going to start those services, and how we are going to restart those services, and how we are going to reload. So but why we need to do this all? Because if you are going to make any changes to which file, so which I have explained in the SSH section, sorry, in the FTP server section. So the file for VSFTPD is nothing but cat slash etc vsftpd vsftpd.conf. So if you are going to make any changes to this file, you need to restart this service. Okay, so if you want to do any configurational changes, then you need to restart that particular service. Now we are going to see the status of this service, right? So just now we see the status of this service. So this service is running correctly. So now we are going to stop this service. Okay, if I'll stop this service, now this service is stopped. But again, if I want to start this service, what command I need to do is start. So now your service is start, but all these two operations I want to do simultaneously, then what I can do is I need to do restart command. So it will stop and then start. You can see it will be shut down and then it will be start. Fine guys. Now, so if you want to reload this service, how we are going to reload this service? Reload command is there. Okay, so if you reload, then also the process will be same, but okay, so it will be reload. Okay guys, getting my point? Now coming to the next point, which is very much important, you need to understand. Okay, so this what when you are doing, okay, so this you are doing when your server, this particular session is live, this putty session is live, or you are logged into the server. But what will happen if your server gets rebooted, if it's shut down automatically due to some reason? So so chances will be there from next time if your server will be boot up, so your services will be stopped, so you need to start all those services manually. So what you need to do is you need to set all these things to be available for the you need to make this all services available for the operating system. So how we are going to do that? So you need to make all these services on at different run level. So what is the command to check that one? So to check that command is chkconfig hyphen list. So as of now I'm showing you not only VSFTPD, all the services. So it's going to list, you can see it's going to list all the services. Here SSHD is also there. Here WinBind is also there. Here VSFTPD will be also there. So all your services will be, HTTPD is also there. IP tables is also there. So all the services you can see here. So VSFTPD is also there. So you can see VSFTPD is on at all run level except run level 6, which I have explained. The reason in run level 6 is if it's on or at run level 6, then your services will be continuously in booting stage. It will start booting automatically. So by default at run level 6 it should be off. Now if you want to see only for VSFTPD, so what you need to do is VSFTPD. If you want to see this daemon, this particular service available or not for all the run levels, so you need to run chkconfig-fn list and you know your service name. This is the command I have discussed about here, right guys? If you see here, this is the command, correct? Or whether it's a HTTPD. Okay, apart from VSFTPD, we'll take HTTPD. Okay, so you can see here, correct guys? Any services you can check it out with SSHD also you can see. Okay, same daemon, SSH daemon, SSHD will be there. So you can see SSHD is also on at different run level. Now let me show you. By default these services will be off. Okay, these services are unavailable. So let me unavailable all these services. How we are going to make these services on or off at different run level? So what is the command for that? chkconfig hyphen hyphen label. Label is nothing but these are the different levels: 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. These are the levels. So I want to make all these services off. Okay, so at run level 0 to 5. So 0 1 2 3 4 and 5 I have given like this. And which service is there? So your VSFT PD service is there. What we need to do is, by default it should be off, but I have already made it on to this service. Okay, so I'm going to off, and let me show you how we can make it off. Okay, so we are done. So how we are going to check again your services are off or on? Okay, so chkconfig-hyphen list VSFTPD. So now you can see that all your services are off at different levels, at different run levels. Correct, guys? Now what you need to do is you need to make on, correct, instead of off. Okay, then only from the next book it will be available, right? Done. So again check the same thing. See, now it's on, right? Same thing you need to do it for the HTTPD. Okay, how we are going to do for HTTPD, guys? Let's do for SSHD. If I'll do, then your we are connected with putty. So let me do with HTTPD. Okay, HTTPD is off at all run level. So what we are going to do is we need to make it on. How we are going to make this on, guys? Instead of doing this, we can do HTTPD. Okay, just make it on. Now check. Getting my point, guys? So these are the only things we can do it with your managed services, which is very much important, guys. So this is all about the manage installed services. So if you have any doubts, any queries, you can write it down to me. You can comment, you can go to Udemy. Okay, you are already subscribed to Udemy or any forum. If you can reach out to me. Okay, you can write it down the questions, I'll be answer accordingly. Okay, and if you are connected with Urban Pro. Okay, so there I have my number, so you can reach out to me through the number as well, guys. Okay, so thanks for watching this video, guys. Okay, thank you.